Hey, sweets.
Hey, Savories.
I'm Alyssa.
I'm AJ.
And this is the
Sweet or Savory Podcast.
Yay! Welcome back to the pod, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to last week's episode with Kevin Wu, our good friend. Hopefully by this time you've checked out K-pop Demon Hunters if you haven't already.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's taking the world by storm.
It really has. Like, K-pop in general is just so wild right now. But we are talking today to someone who we're meeting for the first time today.
Yes, a special guest.
A special guest. Today we have Kaila Yu in the audience, y'all.
I love that entrance. I should carry that around with me like whenever I come into a room.
A little soundboard,
you absolutely should. It's a hype up.
Instant
hype up.
Kaila Yu, freelance writer for the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, recently Teen Vogue with this crazy article about Sierra from Love Island, which we talked about on the pod, which is very cool. But also former model and lead singer of Nylon Pink, which I learned a lot about in her new book that is coming out August 19th.
Yes.
Called Fetishized. Welcome to the pod, Kaila.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We were nervous about this pod.
Yeah, we were.
Because we mostly just interview our friends.
Yes.
They're like,
people
who
that
is
we
this
know.
stranger in the house?
Yeah. No, not stranger. We feel like we know you now that we've...
Maybe a little too much. Yeah, maybe a little too much.
But my introduction to you was long ago. I was kind of introduced to the import model, import tuner scene via my best friend, Arby. Shout out to Arby. His older brothers were into cars. And the oldest brother actually had like a Skyline and, things like that. So he would go to car meets and we would like ride in his car and it was really crazy. But with that comes the subscriptions of import tuner. What was the other? Super Street.
Yeah, D Sport later on.
Yeah. So that was my kind of introduction to know who you were. And then later on into the MySpace days, which I was heavily a part of as well as a musician. And then now kind of as like a content creator, like you're uploading a lot of content.
Yep.
And we're just grateful that we got connected.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got connected.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on to our little podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like you are such like kind of an OG and a legend in the community.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're California natives. I feel like living in Hollywood, everybody's from somewhere else. So
Yeah.
it's like,
And Inland Empire natives. You too.
That's like really obscure.
That is
crazy.
not common.
Yeah.
It's not common. You do also talk about like Hacienda Heights and Roland Heights and things like that.
Yeah,
in
that's
your
where
book.
I grew up.
My parents are in Diamond Bar now.
Oh,
yeah,
I went to Diamond Bar High School.
Okay.
Yeah, so all that entire area, I grew up.
I think people know it because Snoop Dogg lives
Yep,
there, right?
yep.
Still?
Yes, yeah. His
he really
cousins
loves it
went.
there.
His son and his son's cousins went to high school at the same time as me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we would stop by his house to go trick or treating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, anything good?
He wouldn't really open the door, which is fair because he's a huge celebrity.
Yeah.
But we have like been at his
funny.
doorstep.
Wait, I didn't realize that.
So he lives in Diamond Bar in a place called The Country, which is, fully gated, high security. You have to like be on the list. But we had obviously going to Diamond Bar High School, people that live there. So people that got an in would always try and stop by Snoop Dogg's house. Sorry, Snoop Dogg. We would stop by your house.
Part of the package of being famous.
Yeah.
Totally. Before we kind of get into the book, which is like, it's so good. Your writing style and everything, your voice just really comes out in the book.
You.
It's also very like heartbreaking in many sections. It's also stuff we talk about all the time. Asian American representation, at what cost type things in the media. But before that, we did want to just talk about like growing up in the Inland Empire and kind of what being Asian American in Upland. You mentioned like it was like 4% in your school, but like being Asian American in a mostly kind of white suburb, what did that feel like back then if you can look back at it now?
Well, it was interesting because I really, I guess, stayed with the Asians when I was like, say, in elementary school, and then started getting into AP classes and hung around with white people from that point. And when I was like hanging around, my best friend was white and I felt really invisible. She, you know, was like a honey blonde and people said she looked like Nicole Kidman. So like nobody looked at me when I was standing next to her. And it was only until I got into a high school and I started, like, the funny thing about Upland High School is that we had our nerdy Asians too, but we had bad Asians.
Right.
Like the import car. But they were fixing up like their parents' Jetta and their like
just making it sound really loud.
But it wasn't a skyline. There were no skylines in our parking lot. So we actually took over a complete parking lot. It was a small parking lot, but we took it over and everyone knew that was like the Asian import car.
Hangout.
And the Asians were like kind of intimidating because I think a lot of the Asians were friends with like Dub C or whatever. And then there was one incident from my high school that like a white guy said something rude to like a Dub C guy who was visiting and he like shot at him. So people were actually scared of the Asians, you know, instead of like, you know, the revenge of the nerds, like nerdy Asian.
God, that is crazy.
I started hanging around the Asians and then I thought I was badass because I was like, okay, well, it's cooler to be Asian actually.
I mean, I feel like that Asian culture, like bald dude, heavy white shaka tee, you know
white
what I mean?
Beater,
white beaters as well. Kind of maybe thought they were gangsters, you know, and some maybe validly grew up in that.
Yeah,
culture.
but a lot of them were upper middle class.
It's crazy. The Inland Empire kind of connection. It's hot, you know, it's dry out there. Like leaving the Inland Empire or leaving a small town, what was that like for you?
Well, I guess I had a lot of exposure to slightly bigger towns because we were always driving up to Monterey Park and Hacienda Heights to like hang out with gangsters, basically.
Yeah, for all the Asians.
But you'd like go into Garden Cafe and it'd be packed with Asian like youth at like 1 a.m. and it just felt like you were part of something. So we were always trying to get out of Upland because we had nowhere to hang out. But when I got out of Upland, I went to UCSD directly. So then even more Asians there. Not quite UCLA or like UCI, but still a good amount.
UCSD. And then you went back to Whittier Community College.
Yes. Rio Hondo. And what happened was that like I got really crazy into raving and dropped out of school. So I only lasted 2 years at UCSD and my grade point average was like a 2 points something. I convinced my parents to let me drop out and I moved back to my boyfriend's. Like I think we were living with his parents for a while. It was super awkward. And then I went to a JC. Because my dream was always to go to UCLA, but I did not get in the first time around out of high school. So I just would recommend that, like going to a JC, save yourself a lot of money.
That's what my sister did. She just graduated from UCLA, but did a community college first.
Transfer.
Smart. She saved so much money.
Actually easier to get in from a JC than from a high school.
It is.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know why either. Something about the percentage rate of entrance.
So UCSD kind of being Asian, also then like Roland Heights area. I love that you specifically say Roland Heights and Diamond Bar in the book too, which is really cool to get a little shout out. But it did feel, because me also growing up in Moreno Valley, we would drive out on the 60, what we thought was West Covina, which was really Walnut and that area.
Banana Bay.
Just to go to Banana Bay. And that's Speed Zone.
Right?
It's still there.
Banana Bay is still there. 2-for-1 drinks on like Wednesdays or something.
I don't think I've been back since high school.
Really?
Yeah.
It's going strong.
I mean, there's so many places to eat there. You can never like eat them all.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like growing up there, I still haven't eaten at every place because there's too many options.
And they're opening all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about it.
But I loved going to places that, being Asian was like kind of normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously there's still those pockets out here, but it just felt safe, right? Like just kind of being around more Asian Americans or Asians.
Yeah, you just didn't feel like, that thing that some people say where like, I don't see color or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's a privilege.
Yeah.
Because
totally
at
is.
Upland, I always saw color. But yeah, when you're with Asians, that kind of fades away a little bit more.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, now when you think of home, is Upland still that for you?
Yeah. I mean, really, my home is definitely LA now, but like home, like childhood, yeah, Upland. But nobody lives there anymore, so I never go back.
Like no more roots.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
And you say you said your parents are still happily married in Diamond Bar now.
Diamond Bar.
That's amazing.
So I love visiting for the food too.
Yeah, totally.
Same. We do the
we
same
love
thing.
going to her house. We were just there yesterday.
We were there yesterday, but anytime we have to like stay over and watch the dogs or help out with my grandma, we just like go ham eating, ordering everything.
Oh my God, there's
all
so
the desserts,
much. Yeah.
all the food.
There's like a Capital Seafood around there too, right?
Yeah.
Like the dim sum restaurants.
dim
are
sum.
so good.
There's one in LA now too, I think.
Yes.
In Beverly Hills.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I think so. There's a
Fancy.
fancy
It's
dim
getting
sum
crazy.
there. Yeah, but you never like when you pay price, like when you're used to the Hacienda prices. I'm like, what is this?
Totally.
crazy.
Yeah. We barely eat. Like we'll eat like Thai food and Japanese food, but like any like Chinese, Taiwanese food, we don't eat that here.
Yeah,
we go
you
Roland
go back
Heights
to
You
the
go
real
Roland
place
Heights.
Yeah.
where the prices are affordable.
Exactly.
But we will have like Din Tai Fung as
Yeah.
well.
Because that's
which-
the same price everywhere, right?
yeah, that's like a happy medium, I think.
Yeah.
It's like elevated, but it still feels like you're getting good
Piece of
dumplings.
home.
Well,
Yeah.
the things that's smart about Din Tai Fung is I think they have like different dishes for each location that you can't get
Yes.
elsewhere. So it
Exclusivity.
really, yeah.
Yeah. Smart.
It's so good.
Yeah, I want
Man,
some.
Kyla, there's so many things in this book. I was like reading notes, and obviously we could
Highlighting.
talk for hours and hours. But like one thing that is related to kind of the family and growing up is there's this moment, and I can't wait for everyone to read this book, by the way. There's this moment where your dad gives your brother a hug,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and you try to give him a hug, and I mean, I didn't. My dad passed away, so like anything I read about like dads and wanting to be affectionate, because I also remember, and he was like a tough dad. He gave us love, and I felt very lucky for that, especially hearing my friends' stories about that. But like, I wanted him sometimes to like sit in the back with us when we would take long drives, so I could like, lean on him
more
and stuff, like kind of
Yeah.
that affection. But you have this story where you go for the hug, and he says, if you could explain what the story is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, oh no, it's not appropriate.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know I never know what my dad's thinking because he's very introverted. And I want to like preface this with like my dad's an amazing dad.
Absolutely.
He provided and did everything.
Absolutely.
But like his family just wasn't taught to show emotions. And so I'm a probably love language verbal affirmation person.
Yeah.
So I maybe needed a little more extra. But Asian parents, they're criticizing you. They're doing the opposite.
Yes.
But my dad didn't criticize us. My dad was not handling the kids. So he just didn't say anything. And sometimes that can be, according to a therapist, worse than negative affirmation because at least that's like
Interesting.
attention. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Did he also show love by like random things like cutting fruits and stuff? That's like kind of like the...
No, my mom would do that.
Your mom
But my
would.
dad would take us to the beach. Like
Okay.
he wouldn't be talking to us, but he'd take us to the
He
beach.
would show it in certain actions.
Yeah, and he was always there, and then he was barbecuing when we did like family things. So he was always physically present, which a lot of people can't say that about their dads.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, but I'm kind of naturally introvert. He's an introvert, and Asian parents do not tell you, or at least my Asian parents didn't say I love you or anything like that. So I think looking back now, you're like, yeah, they loved us unconditionally and beyond like how much they sacrificed. But as a kid, you don't have that, analysis available. Yeah.
Totally. Do you mind if I ask how your relationship is with him now?
Yeah, it's good now. I'm still really close to with it. My brother actually lives 5 doors down from me. And
no way.
Yeah, he has a niece, or I have a niece.
You have a niece, yeah.
And she's like, I think about 4. So my parents are over all the time because they're like being grandparents.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely had to like sit down my parents recently and be like, they have the book, right? But like Asian parents, I don't think read. I mean, even though my parents can speak and get around, they don't really read English books.
Right.
So they definitely haven't read it. Because when I was like warning them, like, by the way, there's like some drugs and like, sexual assault. A chapter about you, Dad. Sorry. And they're like, okay.
And they're like, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And they literally haven't brought it up, like specific things from the book to you.
They haven't read it. Yeah, I guarantee you.
That's how she knows they haven't read it.
Yeah, there would be some phone calls happening.
Yeah, like, why did you? You mentioned you have a niece. Do you see a difference in your parents? Are they more affectionate now with their grandchildren?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess there's like it's grandparents are always different, right? Because there's no pressure.
Yeah.
And they're just there to give gifts and have fun. But what I see a lot is in Asian American friends who are trying to parent differently from their parents by showing tons of verbal affirmation and like going extra. And I think that's really good, obviously.
Yeah, totally. So you talk about family, you talk about growing up in the Inland Empire, and then, things, I feel like it was like watching a movie, reading this book. It's like things kind of get dark really fast. And we also talk about, again, the things we talk about all the time, Asian representation and like participating in kind of the stereotypes versus, being outside of it. And you have this whole chapter called Not Lucy Liu, which is so crazy. But before we talk about that, can we talk about Asian fetish versus preference?
And this is such a loaded question, right? Probably the most common one I get. And there's no clear answer because I think it's totally on a case-by-case basis. But I think when speaking to the person, only they know what's really going on in their mind. But are you like treating Asian women as disposable and interchangeable? Like, are you just running through them? Because I think like, if you had like 2 wives that are Asian, maybe that's a preference because you're like really committing them and like aiming for lifelong love. But that's a general statement.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. That is also, I feel like, leads into appropriation, which you talk about as well with, say, like Gwen Stefani, Harajuku Girls versus cultural appreciation. Can you talk about those 2 things maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think cultural appropriation is basically when someone takes from a culture and benefits from it, but they don't learn the history behind it. And they also don't have to like deal with the racism that comes with it. So, for example, the fox size trend was really popular. And then, yeah, I think it was like Bella Hadid, and a Kardashian and more. But they were not only like doing the Asian kind of almond-shaped eyes, they were doing this movement. Yeah. Which was super weird to like need to add that in. But the point is that they could like, first of all, Asians have been criticized or like slurs have been made around their eyes. For our entire lives, we've known this racist gesture and these slurs, but they can now say, we now find these eyes attractive and we're going to like take these on, but they don't know any or have never felt any of the racism that comes with it.
Totally. Totally. Which that we also talk about the Love Island kind of controversy as well. And we don't even know if we can say the word.
Yeah, I'm scared to say that.
I know. We almost, when we were discussing it on this podcast, we were like, do we say what the word was? Well, we'll just spell it out.
Yeah. Like, I'm scared to say it too. I'm like, I'm not going to say it either. But yeah, it's like really the intent behind it. Like if somebody just says it and they're like, just trying to explain what it is, I don't think they should be like judged or like torn down for that. And I kind of, after like, I posted a video about this and I was shocked to learn how many people thought it wasn't a slur because a lot of people genuinely didn't know.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe that's the case with Sierra. I think she really didn't know, but she did use it offensively because she said, basically, my eyes are looking too Asian, so let me like get something.
With certain.
And also kind of like when called out by a fan.
Oh yeah.
Saying
double down-ish in saying like, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
Instead of apologizing.
But I think like you mentioned, like people still kind of could use some grace and like education over.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's the whole, I think, like all this reaction to like the overly woke, or it's just like always calling out and canceling people for saying some dumb thing they said. But like it seemed like she was trying to take accountability and she genuinely apologized, and she, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure she'll never use the word again, but we see like how else she acts in the future.
Right.
But like, people were calling ICE on her family.
Yeah.
People were sending her like it's ridiculous. Like it's not even equal to like some of the bad. Like we have Diddy and like men doing serious crimes.
Yeah,
it's not even equal.
Too.
Totally. Okay, so fast forward to also another chapter in the book called ABGs, which can we explain what? I mean, it's evolved over time.
Yeah.
But can we explain to like some viewers, maybe younger viewers who never even used that term, and our non-Asian friends who might not know even what an ABG is, plus the evolution of from like raves and into what that is now?
Yeah, it stands for Asian baby girl or Asian baby gangster, I think, a little more accurately, because it originally came from Southeast Asians who were gangsters growing up. And that term ABG did not exist back then. They were just like...
Oh, that's like a retroactive
term.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like, I guess, adjacent to Mexican gangsters. So the style was kind of like cholas. Like they had the thick brown eye lip liner with Spice Mac lipstick. And then we all had
which
the
is
crazy...
back in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of people. I mean, I kind of have the like outline. It's like a popular thing, doing like the lip stain on the outside.
Oh, it all comes back.
It does.
Yeah.
And also the thin eyebrows.
No. I
Yeah.
don't like those.
Those are back too.
No.
Are they back?
Yeah, they are back. People are a lot of celebrities are doing it. But that was at the same time, I think.
Yes,
the thin eyebrows and the...
Yeah. Like many of our eyebrows never recovered from that period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a warning.
Yes.
Don't, it's trending now, but don't do it.
Yeah. But basically, like why it's a little bit why it's kind of like appropriation by East Asians is that the Southeast Asians, they tended to come over as refugees and like be in a different socioeconomic bracket than, say, the East Asians who immigrants were like, doctors or whatever.
Right.
Like a lot of them were genuinely escaping totalitarian, whatever, governments.
Yeah.
But these, and I don't know why the style originated. I think it was adjacent to the Latino community.
Right.
And they were in a lot of gangs. But anyways, as it went along, like East Asians kind of started just co-opting or being influenced by that. Because it's that the East Asians really wanted to be gangster.
Totally.
Yeah, they were like, it was, I guess, a way to escape the model minority.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, everyone's like trying to like find their place. But then I guess as the Asian American aesthetic got more solidified through raves, and then you see like tons of girls with like highlighted hairs and the specifically placed tattoos and the winged eyeliner, it became an aesthetic. I think it came about in subtle Asian traits, or maybe they say maybe that's the first place it was heard.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe. And then it just kind of took off and went viral and became like a caricature. But it's kind of a negative one because it's kind of a little bit of a dig to call someone an ABG.
Because nobody really wants to be called an ABG.
Yeah.
I think if you're maybe like calling yourself that, you're maybe not a real one. Yeah. But no one really wants to be called that. But it's become this label for girls that do the same thing.
Well, yeah, because the stereotype is like raving, boba drinking, kind of more wilder.
Yeah, like more of the baddie.
Yeah, the bad. Yeah. So there's a little bit of it, and very sexualized.
Right. Yeah. Right. Were you hanging out with ABGs? I feel like in high school and college.
Not really. High school, I was more of like a drama and choir kid.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're performers. So
we're performers. So I was like always in the choir room. But I went to Dunbar High School, which was like predominantly Asian. So you had all kinds of Asians. Like I was friends with some of the nerdier Asians, but then also friends with the baddie Asians. Like they had, because there were so many of us, I got to see the representation of like all different kinds of Asians at one school, which was kind of crazy.
So interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of not in any of them actually. I was more in my own world because I liked to sing, and that's where I found my path, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. And you also got into singing and had lead single and in the band and everything like that. How is that experience for you? Also being on MTV and things like that. You always had maybe a passion for singing in kind of the same way that we did.
Yeah, I think I grew up like loving to sing, but I never really thought it was a thing because literally there was nobody. Yeah. And it was only until I started to gain some like popularity online that I had a platform just to put stuff out myself. And then I was on MySpace early on, and that was a music-specific platform. So it became really easy to launch things. So that really like gave the opportunity that never existed before.
Yeah, the only time I saw Asian artists was on YouTube and MySpace. And that's how I think most people discovered you too, on MySpace.
We're going to talk more MySpace, Friendster, pop culture in the 90s and early 2000s when we get back from this short break.
We want to talk about all of the MySpace kind of throwback era. But before we talk about that, which sort of is also a throwback, I wanted to talk about Disney because of the chapter in your book where you talk about the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Is that the first chapter of the book?
Daddy, right? Yeah, that's the first chapter.
This is wild.
Yeah, it was. I loved this chapter. A little background on me. I worked at Disney. So Disney was like a huge part of my growing up as well. I was always obsessed with Disney princesses. And it wasn't really until I got older and then I started working at Disney on the corporate side, working in diversity, equity, and inclusion, was when I started to see how problematic some of the original stories were. And you mentioned The Little Mermaid as one of the stories that you grew up, and how that story shaped your view as a woman. So I wanted to ask you, like, at what point in your life did you start to realize that?
Gosh, I don't know. I think all of this came later because like I didn't really reflect back on my life and think much about it. It wasn't until probably the pandemic, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it wasn't like I was looking back. I just wasn't thinking about it. But during the pandemic, I started making these TikToks about this time. And that's when I started reflecting back on the past. But yeah, The Little Mermaid, I played that like 100 times and like even acted out scenes for it, like for plays for the family.
Yeah.
You know, so it was very influential.
Totally. Yeah, I same. I didn't really think about it until I started getting into the work and realizing, wait, I think also our friends now that are starting to have kids are like rewatching some of the classic Disney, and we're like, oh, maybe we should, like, there are certain things that we maybe need to have conversations with our kids as we're watching these shows, because maybe they weren't the best form of at least women representation, for like the princess to always be waiting for the prince. I was curious if you think now, not just Disney, but all stories, are they evolving more in the right direction?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when the new Little Mermaid came out and I watched it on a plane and, you don't really like sink it in as much.
Sure.
But I feel like they really made an effort to, first of all, diversify it, but also kind of change up some of the dated. But there was a lot of arguments online about like the whole point of view of that movie. So I think they're trying. They're trying. Yeah.
I was a part of that.
Oh, okay.
I was a part of the Little Mermaid.
Her name's in the credits.
My name is in the credits.
Nice. Okay.
Not that I'm not taking credit for all the work that goes into that, but part of my job was to review kind of our old content and figure out ways where we can talk to our executives about how we can move forward and just like build upon, because I'm not saying Disney is like horrible, like they came out with so many amazing stories that people connect to. But I think as we're growing as a society and as we're learning more about what the effects were of these original stories, it's best to grow with that. But like you said, with any change always comes that fight, because I think we saw that with the new Snow White.
Yeah.
Where Disney was making an effort to kind of...
Maybe too much?
Yes. Which that's...
Yeah, so what's the balance?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a hard balance,
it's
because
hard to balance.
with on one side, people want to see more of the characters be more empowered and strong and not have the same kind of tropes. And then on the other end, there's another audience that is like, why can't she have her prince? Why can't she do that and be strong? So there's always that balancing line that is tough.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and also the 2000s, like it isn't a Disney thing. The 2000s were problematic times. So we're revisiting a lot of things that happened, like Britney Spears or Pamela Anderson, all these people who are really misaligned.
Yeah.
Right. We're just now kind of seeing the aftermath, the effects, and the documentaries. Yeah. Did you watch the Pamela Anderson documentary?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So sad. I love what she's like in the Naked Gun now. And it's like, I love the reinvention.
Yeah.
Right.
I love her.
I know. And her journey to Broadway and everything.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So cool.
But we still are tearing down women, like what is that? Katy Perry? Like, it's just like tearing her down for some nonsense. I feel like
for singing
like she did some cringy things, whatever.
But like quote unquote cringe.
Yeah, like crazy like takedowns of like multiple articles and people just hating on her.
It's easy to take down women, I think.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go back to the Love Island thing, but just like really quick, I think it is kind of crazy that she was the one to get like completely canceled. But if you dig into kind of the depths of some of the other contestants that are men, like no one really cares about that.
Nothing about the men at all.
Yo, that's wild.
Right? Yeah. But it is easy to dig. And unfortunately, women also fall under it too. Like women
are totally perpetuated.
Yeah, perpetuated and also maybe sometimes like even worse. And the men, like just the hate comes really strong from inside.
Wow. Okay. We're getting deep. Let's bring it
back.
Which actually we love, because this podcast used to just kind of be, which we'll get into later, is peanut butter sweet or savory? Like all of these like fun little things.
Fun, like light, controversial sometimes, but not like very light. But I think some of the deeper topics are more interesting and kind of get, more to the core.
Yeah.
And we could talk about them lightheartedly, not being too dark.
Serious.
So true. Okay, well, to kind of make it a little more light, 1999, what is in your CD player at the time? Like, what are you listening to music-wise?
1990. I think that's Tupac Shakur's Greatest Hits. That was
the Greatest Hits.
Yeah. Yeah. Because 1999, I think I was in college. Yes.
I had the Michael Jackson Greatest Hits in the CD player in the trunk.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Mine was in the front.
Okay, yours was in the front. Yeah, so like I remember.
That's really inconvenient.
Yeah, it was in our old Camry.
I had a car.
CDs
my first car had a trunk CD player too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you remember wearing to first day in high school? Like, what is the style back then? And what year is that?
What year of high school?
Freshman
because there's
year.
a big difference between
That's true.
Yeah.
Freshman and like senior year.
Well, I don't know what I was wearing because my parents would like take us shopping at the dollar store. So I was probably wearing some like dollar t-shirt and like
Payless shoes.
Yeah. Like,
oh my God, Payless.
But I think what everybody was wearing during that time were what were those hypercolor t-shirts? Do you remember those? You guys may be too young. But like
hypercolored, what is it?
I don't know what they're called, but they were kind of bluish and you put your hand on it and it changes color.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is it because of heat?
Yeah, I think so. But everybody who wore them. It was like
that's
just
so crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have one because I wasn't cool enough.
But that's what everyone was wearing. Very cool.
Okay. AIM screen names.
So strange. Mine was like XO Lisa OX. Just because like I just didn't want to use my real name. But I don't know why that was like what I came up with.
Well, the X's were very popular in screen names.
Yeah. But I didn't have the AZN.
I had like 5 different ones because I couldn't decide on one. Mine was Angel Alyssa. One of them.
Angel's a big one.
Angel Alyssa. Angel. Another one was like Shut Up X Alyssa. Like I don't know why that was a popular thing.
I have a really embarrassing one.
What is it?
It was AZN. Pride.
Yes, Pride.
And then
with a Y.
Yeah, with a Y.
Pride.
But also up and down letters.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the up and down letters.
But it was
taking me back.
Like AZN, Pride, Pinoy.
Okay.
I've definitely seen a variation of that.
Yeah. But then later got obsessed with like playing DDR and stuff. Mm-hmm. So my screen names would be like DDR related. Were you using AIM all the time?
Yeah. I mean, when it came out, well, it was still so new when it first came out.
Right.
But yeah, I was definitely using it and like, it's definitely kind of creepy. Like,
thinking about it now.
Yeah, like very dangerous, I think, for these kids to be, because there's predators like floating around.
Chat rooms, I feel like that doesn't happen anymore.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But chat rooms are kind of weird because then you also would get their username and people would like instant message you on your own outside of the chat room.
ASL, right?
ASL. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's age, sex, location.
Oh,
question mark.
I don't think I ever got that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a basic thing, but it was so internet lingo.
Yeah,
then.
It's the first question everybody would ask, basically.
ASL?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd download AOL from a CD.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What a time. Who was your early 2000s style icon?
In the book you talk about idolizing Sung Hee Lee.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Gwen Stefani, even though it was like appropriating. But back then, we're like, hey, there's Asians, right? But are there any others that kind of come to mind during that time?
Asians? No, I think it was Lucy Liu. And like, I thought she was awesome and talented, but it wasn't like I was like, I want to be her kind of thing. I think I wanted to be Britney Spears. Like we wanted our own Asian Britney Spears, right? But there was no such thing, basically. So I just looked up to Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But everybody was doing those super low-rise jeans and like
jeans.
crop tops. Yeah.
Again, that's also in the low rise. I can't do it.
No.
I can't do it. Not these days.
I am really glad that baggy jeans, though, are kind of back in because I was wearing the tightest jeans ever. And it's like it's cuffing my calf.
Yeah. Skinny jeans. I feel like they're going to make a comeback again soon, but I'm not quite ready. I'm not quite ready for the skinny jeans or the low rise.
Yeah. I'll never go back to low rise. But those are like, we used to wear them. Is it like this so low that you could just basically see the pubic bone? That's how low. And you specifically wear a thong because you always see it when you bend over.
You wanted to see the G-string.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that to that extent. But yeah, they're getting lower. They're getting lower.
Well, I've seen some recently, like the straps are up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you've seen that? I haven't seen that.
I know. Maybe it's just one of my friends that I'm following. And I'm like, what is going on here?
That is crazy.
Okay. What was your like mall routine like? We're talking Cinnabon.
Sanrio.
Hot Topic, was that a thing? Spencer's.
Oh, Spencer's. I like the what's the hot dog place?
Wetzel Pretzel?
No, the corn dog place.
Hot dog on a stick.
Yeah,
hot dog on a stick. I like their lemonade too.
Yeah, yes.
And that's a mall. Like they only have them in malls.
And the corn dog's like special. Like
yeah, they're good.
No corn dog tastes like that.
It's ever. The batter. I think they have special batter.
Yeah.
Damn,
is it still allowed? Because it used to be only cute girls and like little shorts serving it,
that would work there. Not anymore. I've been recently. Now there's some dudes working there. Yeah. But I remember those days, and the outfits were cute.
Yes,
tight shirts, little shorts, and then the hat.
Yeah.
Whoa, that took me back.
Have you been to Moreno Valley Mall?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why?
No, it just feels like that, and I'm sure there are malls all like that all over the Inland Empire, but the imagery of the hot dog on a stick, and they also the Moreno Valley Mall had like big like a big fork and spoon. You know what I'm talking about?
What is a fork and spoon?
This is so stupid.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It just like old malls bring such a nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish we still had that.
Yeah. The outdoor malls are more of a thing now.
Yeah.
The Century City Mall.
Yeah.
My high school mall was Montclair.
Oh, Montclair. I've been there.
Oh, really?
I've been there quite a few. Yeah. Well, I went to school for college at University of Laverne, which is right around
Raging
that area.
Waters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We would go there a lot.
Wait, and your sushi spot you always talk about?
Yeah. Shoot. Can't remember the name.
All you can eat.
Yeah.
But it was in...
No, wait. Not all you can eat. Wait.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. You're talking... That's in San Dimas.
San Dimas, which is Raging Waters.
Yeah,
Raging
sushi
Waters.
show.
Yeah.
Which is Raging Waters. Yeah, but that was like 10 minutes from you, right?
We would always... Everyone in college would go there. Sushi show.
Okay, can we now take it back to Friendster, MySpace days? You do mention in your book why you liked Friendster better than MySpace.
Well, Friendster was probably the first social media site ever. I don't know if Asian Avenue was that out before?
That was out before Friendster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Friendster was like the mainstream one where everybody was on, but it was so cool because it was like a yearbook.
Testimonials.
Yes, testimonials. And people would write long ass ones.
But like about you.
Yes, about you.
Wow.
And you're like, oh, look what everybody wrote about me.
On your wall.
Yes, yeah.
So before Facebook, we did that on Facebook, kind of.
Oh, really?
Really?
No, maybe not.
No,
but they stay up there. They don't get pushed down
in a different way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it became comments on a post.
Yeah.
But Friendster was so cool because it was
just talking about people.
A bunch of compliments.
And it was always positive. Did it ever get?
I'm sure if you got a negative one, you'd like hide it or something. Yeah.
I feel like nowadays. Well, is it all? It's all your friends, though.
It's all your friends. Why was it all your friends? But yeah, it was just basically that.
It was like a yearbook.
It was. Like, did people even like interact there? I just remember the testimonials.
Yeah, so like it would also be weird if you wrote like another one because you already.
I need to look. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I should see a Wayback Machine to see if it still can see a page.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally I just came to it one day and it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friendster was over.
But no, Friendster was not prepared to go viral. And so once they start deleting the popular accounts.
That's crazy.
Without notice. Just one day you just went
because
and it was
of
gone.
overload of server.
Yeah, they probably couldn't afford to pay their server.
Oh my god!
Okay, Alyssa's looking at Friendster for the first time.
Is this more what it looks like?
That's not what it looked like. Click this one.
It's this what it looks like.
We'll show Kaila. Yeah.
Wait, I had
like this.
I for sure knew. My cousins used to use that.
That's MySpace.
That's MySpace.
Wait, what does even Friendster look like?
Right? Is it not even searching?
Oh my gosh, this is so weird.
It's not even. Yeah, because it
doesn't look like that anymore.
No, I don't even remember what Friendster.
They don't have. Well, someone needs to bring back what it looked like so we don't forget it. Yeah, for history.
Okay, here is which I'll put. If we make a reel of this, I'll put this on. This is what the home screen or the homepage. Do you remember that?
Oh.
With the web.
Yeah, I remember the web. I remember the web.
Yeah.
But yeah, what does a page look like?
It's so I can't even explain to you now.
I wasn't allowed to have one, but
Really?
I saw my cousins that had them at the time.
Okay, so before that though, was Asian Avenue, and you're also the first person I'm talking to who remembers this. Remember Asian Avenue, because a lot of our friends didn't even have one.
Past the time?
It's past the time, but not only that, I feel like it was a specific kind of like
Asian that
group.
was on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Asians.
Yeah.
The Asian
Pride Asians.
The Asian Pride Asians
Asians.
with the little the animated kid with the baggy jeans. Like, yo, what a time.
It was a time, yeah, that we all remember. Going through. Yeah.
You remember what being on those websites was like, and did you ever meet anybody in real life because of them? Before MySpace.
I definitely met people from AIM, which is like so sketchy if you look back
That's
on
crazy.
that now. Yeah. I have a friend who's friends from to this day that I've met.
Oh,
really?
Just the one. But yeah, it was just like crazy because you could be connected to, because I grew up at a time where you can only meet people in your vicinity.
Yes.
Right.
And then suddenly you could meet people outside of your community. It was like a weird and awesome kind of development.
Yes.
But, kids grow up with that now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wild.
Yeah. Now they're on, all of these platforms.
Well, even video games, they'll meet people.
Roblox.
Yeah, Roblox.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My nephew was showing me all of his friends that he has, because I've never seen Roblox. So he was going through the Roblox and he was like, oh yeah, this is someone that I know. This is someone that I met through my cousin that I know. And I was like, you have 70 friends on Roblox and you don't know all of them personally? That's crazy. But then he was telling me that there are censors. So like you can't say bad words. Mm-hmm. You can't say like husband, wife. Like you can't like make any comments. So
and I hope there's an age, like you're this age, so you can't talk to this age.
Yeah, there should be a range.
Yeah. I didn't ask about that, but I think I hope
sure,
so. Yeah.
Well, the internet now, I feel like in gaming, all that is much more regulated.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, again, we're on AIM and stuff. We can just kind of pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone would be catfishing everybody.
True.
I don't think anybody was anybody.
Yeah, that is so true. Catfish. Forgot about catfishing.
Yeah. Or just like the way you present yourself. Like the ASL thing, you can change it anytime.
Yeah.
And you're behind a moniker, you're behind a username.
Yeah.
And people weren't ever posting photos.
Pictures. No, there was no photos.
Yeah, there was no way to. Could you even send photos?
I don't even know if you could send photos yet. Maybe towards the end, but definitely not.
Well, then there were websites like Photo Bucket and things like that. But that's still kind of private. Like it's your own.
Unless you would send a link. Oh my God. I tried to log in the other day because I have some pictures on there.
Photo booth?
Yeah, but
I
couldn't figure it out. Like it's tied to an email address but I have some gems of photos that I would store on there that I'll never see again.
Well, it's crazy because like I had this one photo album of photos from high school and from college. And I lost it in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
I make a digital copy of it.
In the end.
Now it's just gone.
Yeah.
So wild.
I'm still sad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have backups on backups of everything.
Yeah. That's true. The cloud.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we briefly, before we get into our next section, can we talk about the import model scene, import tuner scene, real quick, and how, because when I was telling people, hey, we're about to have like our first podcast or our first guest. A, we haven't met them yet. Mm-hmm. B, they're kind of on a press tour for their book, which is sick. It kind of helps legitimize our pod.
Yeah.
It really does. So I was telling your auntie the other day, she's like a younger auntie Tita Lara. Mm-hmm. And I was like, do you know who Kaila Yu is? And she didn't quite know. But I asked her husband, Uncle Rick, and he was like, oh yeah.
You ask all the guys, all the uncles, they're going to know.
Yeah.
But maybe the.
Yeah, like shout out to our friends, Ken and Ernest. I think with guys, specifically Asian American males, like we just, and I was a little younger than them, but I feel like it did kind of empower us, that scene, the cars and stuff, right? And like being around more Asians and, when you met them in person and meeting the import models and stuff, it was like such a big deal to us because this was like our fame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like we literally created that from scratch.
Yeah.
But also like, I think the import scene was kind of reaction in a way to like the emasculation of Asian American males in the media.
Yes.
So it was definitely like, oh, we got to like build our own community where we're badass and like tough and, manly.
Yeah.
Totally. That was just to see Uncle Rick talking about it. He's like, I totally remember that time. It's very interesting. Can you talk about, this is a kind of common theme throughout the book, participating in like the fetishization, is that the word?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Participating in it and also being a victim to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like, okay, so for a good portion until I found the cool Asians, I was like totally invisible. And even after I started hanging around the Asians, I was still very shy. So I never got asked to any dances and I felt really invisible to men. And I was boy crazy like many a teenage girl, right? So I think when I discovered that, oh, you can like use your sexuality and get a lot of attention from men by like taking these photos or whatever, it felt like a superpower actually.
Yeah.
Just from somebody who was so invisible before. And this was also taking a place during time, this like post-feminism. So the early 2000s was a time where a lot of women were thinking like, oh, Playboy is like on TV with the girls next door. It's so wholesome and cool. Little kids were wearing Playboy like t-shirts, it's crazy. It's very, very normalized. FHM and Maxim were like the top selling magazines. So we were kind of taught at that time. And then Britney Spears is like, 17 and looking very sexy on the TV. So we're taught that sexualization, like this is empowering. Like we're taking back our sex and like whatever. It's kind of, I think, being tricked by the patriarchy in a way. But, when you're like 21, that feels very powerful. And you learn later on that it's like very, very temporarily fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's handed to you also very temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Totally.
Well, as we get into is peanut butter sweet or savory?
No, I was going to add on to it, but I wasn't sure if you had anything to add. No, I feel like I also fell victim to that feeling too. Like, when we first started dating, I didn't understand how Asian women were oppressed because I was like, but I could use that.
Yeah,
I was like, I was also under the same like thinking, especially when I was in college, because I was one of very few Asians in my college. And
she was the president of her sorority.
Oh, I was.
All white girls.
I was the only white girls. We already had like very limited, I would say like maybe 5 people of color in our sorority. Everyone else was white. I was the president. And part of the reason why I wanted to be the president was to get that power back. But with that came like this false sense of I can get whatever I want and I can use this. Yeah. I can use me being Asian to get whatever I want. Like I had all the guys wrapped around my finger in college because I was the only one. But
it's crazy in a different generation that would not be like suddenly it became a power. Like suddenly they were attractive.
Yeah. But I would still get those comments like, oh, you're so pretty for an Asian. For an Asian. It was always like, you're the pretty Asian, you know? Yeah. So interesting. It wasn't until I took a step, like after I graduated college and like gone into the real world and meeting more Asian Americans, like that I realized, wow, I was also falling victim for like, that wasn't actually, in some ways it was reclaiming power in that area, but so much of it was me just like, pertaining to the male gaze and like letting them decide when I was powerful.
And it's totally understandable because we're given, limited power in a way. And of course you're going to take what you can, no matter how, only years back might you reflect on such a thing.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. Well, these conversations and this book helps open the eyes people who maybe gone through it and don't even, and they have to like retroactively think back on a time when they were going through being fetishized or things like that. And I know that this book will ring true a lot in Asian American communities, but I also feel like, man, we really need a lot of non-Asians to read this book, right?
I think they're the ones that should be reading more.
There,
a lot of history.
I feel like it could be used as a really powerful tool for consulting as well. I like the at the end where you kind of call out all of the movies and media that fetishized Asian women. So just I know there's a lot of people that follow me still that work in diversity, equity, and inclusion for different studios. I feel like, they should reach out to you.
Was that part of kind of the mission for this book? Not just to get your story out, but also for it to
be used as a tool?
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to contextualize it at the time. And then I started digging the history and I was like, this is shocking, actually. So it was like I couldn't not include it. But then now I'm kind of like, it would be great for men to read it just because, I think sometimes when they objectify women, they don't even mean to do it. Like maybe they do think it's a compliment. And it just gives them kind of a more layered understanding of what it feels like to be objectified.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I love just even reading, even just the intro. You explained so many feelings that every Asian woman has felt or has gone through. So it really made me feel seen, especially thinking back to those times where I was using it as a power.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of Asian women and non-Asian women is very, it's just a good read and a good thinking.
And men, as you said.
And men.
Yes, read it. We're going to be back real quick with the way that Kaila makes a peanut butter sandwich because that's why we started this podcast. So we'll be right back.
Be right back. Welcome back.
This is peanut butter. Wait, what do we call this?
PBJ, Peanut Butter Journey.
Peanut Butter Journeys.
Because as we were just explaining, everyone on our podcast so far has had a different peanut butter sandwich, like how they make a peanut butter sandwich. Some people use jelly. Some people don't even use jelly.
But how's it a peanut butter jelly sandwich?
Exactly. But we've had people use Nutella instead of peanut butter, and but because they didn't grow up eating peanut butter. And it usually goes back to how they were raised, like what their parents made for them growing up. So we would love for you to make your version of what that is while we ask you some rapid fire.
Okay. But we will toast your bread first.
Okay,
yeah, we can toast your bread.
The crust first.
Oh, nice.
I hate the crust. That's why I like Uncrustables.
I think in Taiwan, whenever they sell sandwiches, they're always crustless.
Yeah, same in Japan, which is why we love Japan so much.
Yeah, I don't like the crust.
That's the first time someone's doing that on our show.
I did it after.
I know.
When I made mine, I cut it after.
But
before makes more sense because you're actually wasting less.
I think it might be easier to cut it afterwards.
It might be.
Maybe because it's a little crumbly.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why we do this?
Yes. Okay. So
what's the podcast?
Our podcast started.
Here, I'll do it. So our podcast started because one of our friends, Danny Salerno, wrote in our group chat, "Is peanut butter sweet or savory?" So it brought up a now controversial debate on whether peanut butter is sweet or savory. And we didn't realize that we have opposite opinions on that. So before we give away what we think, we wanted to ask you, is peanut butter sweet or savory?
Does it have to be either or? Because I think it's kind of both.
All right, yes. Which is the answer.
Which is actually the answer.
But which way do you think
Which way does it lean?
You know what I mean?
I think I lean savory just because a peanut is savory.
Yeah. Okay. I'm team. You're on the same side as AJ.
You're on the same side also as like 80% of people.
Not 80. It's like 60.
It's like 60.
It's like 60-40. So I'm team sweet. I think of peanut butter as being like more of a sweet treat. Like it's like a sweet snack. So that's why I associate peanut butter with sweet. But AJ...
Team savory.
Wait, do they add anything to peanut butter? Like why is it sweet when a peanut is not sweet?
Yeah.
They do add a lot of sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with American peanut butter specifically,
American peanut butter.
they add a ton of sugar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I have a version of peanut butter that it's unsalted and unsweetened. So then at that point, is it still savory or is it sweet?
What does it taste? Is it sweet at all?
In my opinion, I think it still leans sweet.
Okay.
But some people will argue that it tastes savory to them. Our last guest was one of our few that think it's sweet, like me. Okay. But most of our guests have said savory so far.
Ooh, that's perfectly toasted.
Perfect.
Yay.
You'll find that it is a very polarizing. Like if you ask one of your group chats.
I know, I have to start group chatting it.
Yeah, just like, hey, what do y'all think?
And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like,
you're like, I was on this podcast. It's sweet or savory. Okay, so the next step is creamy Skippy peanut butter.
Creamy Skippy peanut butter. The classic. A classic.
I'm curious, like how much people usually use.
No, me too. And I'm trying to check out if you're doing a lot or not. I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of
a lot. Is that a lot?
Yeah. But it's
not to you. Not to you.
Yeah, it's whatever you want it to be.
Are you going to do it on both sides?
No.
Okay.
One side.
So that feels like, okay. And then next is, I presume, the jelly. Yes.
Strawberry jelly.
Okay, while we're asking you this, while you're doing that, we have other kind of fun personal hygiene questions like, which way do you face in the shower?
Away from the thing?
Away. So with your back.
Because the hair. Yeah, because otherwise the hair would it would get all in your face.
Got it. Okay. That's the way you do too. No.
Oh, wait, I'm away as well.
You're away. I'm towards.
But this is also a 50% thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I really never. You guys got the question.
I know.
No, we had a whole episode on
We
this
have a whole episode on it. Because we also didn't. Another thing we realized after we got married was that we have like completely different ways of doing things. Because we're not, with each other while we're showering.
Yeah.
Or things like that.
No,
or sometimes, but not all the
time. Okay, so I also face away from the shower because I want to be prepared if something's happening, like a robber.
Wait, but if you're facing toward, I guess you could kind of get under? Wouldn't it be hitting your...
Yeah,
I guess... you let it hit your chest, right?
Yeah, I guess I eventually...
You have a low?
I eventually turn.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's because I like the feeling of the water hitting my face. And I like to wash... I don't know. I just like to get like super, super like soaked. So I just like have it. I like it to just like rain on me. That's how I start. And then I eventually turn around when I'm like fully washing the hair.
And this is assuming there's no rain for a shower, right?
Yeah, not many people
have that. Yeah, true.
Like some of our rich friends do.
Yeah,
they have a double.
Yeah,
that
would mean
rain. That's insane. Which way are you facing then?
Every way.
Yeah,
every way.
All the ways.
Okay, so you got now two sides. One has jam, and that's boom.
Yeah.
And do you cut it?
I do not. But I actually like the idea of cutting it. And
okay,
now
so which way would
good.
you? Yeah, which way would you cut? I mean, you should just naturally.
I naturally haven't cut it, but it would be this way.
Oh, in half.
In half.
Why? Okay. What other ways?
Diagonal.
Oh, diagonal. Yeah.
Well, some of our friends were like, you cut it diagonal? Are you a child?
Yeah, I like it like that. Here's some paper towels.
Thank you.
We have Kaila Yu's perfect peanut butter sandwich, which is crustless.
Sourdough.
On sourdough with jelly on one side.
And creamy peanut butter.
Creamy peanut butter on the other side. Are you in the mood to take a bite?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yay.
I totally want
Yes, totally. Amazing. Wow.
Squishing.
We have another question that does not have to do with food.
What?
Are you a folder or a crumpler?
Folder or a crumpler.
As you're eating a sandwich.
Your toilet paper.
Oh. I guess a folder. Yeah.
As am I.
I never thought about that. I had to think about it.
Yeah, I'm a folder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
AJ's a crumpler.
See, but I didn't realize that people would be looking down on that until they started asking.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of judgment from revealing that.
So is everybody?
I think most people are folders, but crumplers. So we've heard that from a few people. Crumplers. One of my friends. I feel like most guys end up being crumplers, but we had one person that we met recently that's a crumpler, and she was arguing that when you crumple, you get more surface area because of how the toilet paper is like reaching. You know what I mean? Like the surface area because there's like more like edges. That was her argument. What's yours?
Well, okay. I mean, I don't neatly fold. But I just like, I'll get some and kind of wrap it around. You know, I just want y'all to see that it just eventually becomes a crumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like just being like,
yeah.
Like,
that is what I imagine.
Yeah. When you think of crumble, you just think of, just grabbing it.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then our last sweet or savory question, which is, can you be friends with your ex?
No.
Period.
Absolutely not.
Period.
No.
Period.
I'm actually super against.
No, we love that.
No, yeah, we love that.
Because
we don't really
sweet or savory can be like, a little bit of both. But when someone is just like, no. But then there's also some people who are like, if you're mature. But you know, it's like, it's such a weird thing because it's so nuanced and layered. But we love the no.
Yeah, I love the no. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
And that's it.
I feel seen. I feel.
Are you the same?
Yeah.
I feel like people are friends with their exes. Hot take. Because they love the attention.
Ooh.
Like, why?
Shoot.
I don't need the attention from these exes. Like,
yeah. I'm not friends with my exes. AJ is though.
Oh.
No, but we're cool with it now.
No longer though.
Oh.
Yeah, you are.
Wait,
Okay.
why no longer?
Okay, no. Wait, let's give some context. I'm no longer friends with like
the ex.
the big exes.
The big ex.
Like the long-term part of my family ex. Definitely a no now. In the first 2 years of our relationship.
Oh, is it because you said this is not appropriate?
This is this is my boundary.
Like,
this is how it makes me feel.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because plenty of people are okay with it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I
there
have
are.
the same boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which I think now especially is super fair. And also, I don't need to. The main thing is that I don't need to be friends with them. That's the main
Yeah, it's
thing.
kind of like, why? Because they're like, we're so intimate. And that's the problem. You're
That's
really
the problem.
intimate.
Exactly. No, for me, it was more of like, she's taking up a space where I can't fill because she's already taken that spot of like someone who's like so involved in your family. And like, it's not allowing me to get closer with your family because there's already someone there.
Yes.
That makes
so
sense.
absolutely. But the exes you're referring to that I'm still
That you're still friends with
are just like,
we're both friends with though.
Yeah. Like one was my high school girlfriend.
Yeah, high school
Like
girlfriend.
for like a couple months.
Yeah.
We're friends with her husband and went to her baby's first birthday.
That's
different.
So that's a different case.
That's a
Yeah,
different
it's a little
case.
different. Like if you happen to be friends with them and you're just like totally integrated too.
But I love the no. Because I'm still a no. Even though you are, I still believe it should be a no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you guys.
But it is a very polarizing question.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, whenever we bring it up or ask guests, like there's always people weighing in very strongly feeling yes or no. And then there's people in the middle, of course. But
Yeah. Baggage.
yeah.
May we have your other half?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
We
yeah.
forgot to ask.
I want it.
Like, I felt like we should have been eating it at the same time.
To
and
try
I totally
it.
forgot.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, all right, I'll take a bite
You
first.
take the first bite. Yeah. I always like the second bite best because it creates a better bite.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, I'm curious. Sourdough.
Have you had a bad one?
Ooh.
Because it's always the same basic material.
Okay, well, there was one that and Jesse, no offense.
You didn't like it?
I just had to get used to it. He used peanut butter and marshmallow cream.
Oh,
So really sweet.
I'm not against that.
No, it was good.
It was amazing, but it took me a long time to just be like chewing it, like trying to figure out what.
You don't really
this
like
tasted.
super, super sweet,
Yeah.
right? So
Well,
this is
because
good.
since I am team savory, my argument is that peanut butter and jelly is like a sweet and savory treat.
Yeah.
It's not a doubly sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. Okay, wait.
Here, have this.
Not to linger on the friends with the ex question.
We're bringing it back.
No, but Kaila, you do bring up an ex in the book that you are grateful for to have gone through that time with, and I appreciated the way that it was after he was with you during and also even cut off a couple of his friends after and you guys will read in the book, a tape that was traumatic, but you talked about him in a way where it's like, I don't know that I would have gone through what I did without him. And even if you are no longer friends, I feel like it's cool to be thankful for somebody in the journey.
That just reminds me of thank you next.
Thank you. Next. Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think, because here's what people say sometimes because I'm very vocal about not being friends with exes, and they're like, oh, well, you like must have had horrible exes. And maybe true in a couple instances.
Sure.
But like generally, like I'm super cool with, like if I saw some of my exes be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But like I don't need to check in and be like, yeah.
Buddy.
I don't think that's even fair to like, your current partner, depending on their boundaries.
Yeah.
They don't know absolutely.
Or their current partners.
Yeah. But it's also expectation. Like I'm not friends with my exes, so I expect you also to not be
I know,
friends.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's always a thing there.
That's what it was with me too.
Oh, here's another thing. Oh, sorry.
No. Go.
I feel like when men and women are friends, it's a little bit different. But when guys and girls are friends and they're exes, I feel like the girl could still sleep with them whenever she wants.
Ooh.
But it's not vice versa, because women don't work like that. Yeah.
Wait, can you explain that again? When
like you're friends with an ex, when you're a woman that's friends with an ex.
Women friends with ex.
Women friends with ex.
First of all, the guy might still be in love with you.
Got it.
So depending on how it ended.
The
I
ex.
see. Yeah. Now I understand.
And I kind of feel like this in male-female friendships. So you've had the guy friends who liked you at first and then just became friends because that's what was available.
Yeah.
And anytime you wanted to.
Like they would be down.
They would be down.
Yeah. Because they're men.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that friendship might be, how should the other guy feel about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that should definitely be a boundary for him if that's the case.
Yeah. Because why is she having a bunch of exes who she could probably sleep with at any time?
Yeah, totally.
Around. Because attention.
For attention.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a great hot take.
Yeah, that is
I'm
a hot
glad you
take.
said
It's
it.
probably going to get a lot of.
That's the one I was already thinking about. I was like, we're clipping that one. Oh my gosh. Okay. This has been so fun. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's totally fun.
And like getting to know you as we literally just met in person today. And we started following each other on Instagram and stuff like a week or two ago. But I'm just so glad you have written such an amazing book.
Yes.
And it comes out August 19th. But also, I wanted you to plug the event that you have with Margaret Cho as well.
Oh, yeah. That's so exciting, too, because I quote her in the book. And I
Yes, you
actually
do.
had more quotes from her, but it cut just for whatever logistical reasons.
Interesting.
But she's very outspoken about fetishization, other Asian American issues. But on August 19th, which is pub date, we're doing a signing or a conversation, me and Margaret Cho, at Barnes & Noble's at the Grove.
That is so iconic.
Yeah,
That's such an iconic
super excited
thing.
about that. Yeah.
What date is that?
August 19th.
This
It's a
August.
Tuesday.
On the date.
Yeah, on the day.
Oh, amazing.
And this will be out by that time, obviously.
Yes.
This is coming out next Tuesday.
Okay.
But go to that event, y'all. And that is such like an author thing. Like, is this your first published piece?
Yeah, I mean, I did a self-published thing that I don't count. But yes, this is my first like real book.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. Do you feel like, I mean, you're already a writer, but are you feeling now that you are an author?
Yeah, it's scary because you write it and you're like, oh, who's going to read this? But now you're like, oh, it's actually going to be available. So it is very scary because it does get very personal. So it's like, but it's also maybe I would recommend it as the most healing experience you can ever have.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, you also do talk about how therapy kind of helped you get to this place.
Oh, absolutely.
And we talk about therapy a lot on this pod as well because we didn't have therapy until
recently.
And I had been digging up some stuff with my childhood, things that I don't even realize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we're just such a proponent. And also, because I've also been taking anti-anxiety medicine as well, which as an Asian family, of course, even when my sister first started taking it, I'm like, hey, are you sure? You know, like you can get through it without it, right? So the stigma of just mental health conversation in general.
Yeah. I take Prozac, so that's like I've been very open about that, and I feel like the mental health within the Asian American community is very like not talked about. I think we're the lowest percentage that goes to therapy. Yeah,
I wouldn't be
is
surprised.
that a true
I think
stat?
so. Yeah,
it must be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Write a book, y'all, if you're trying to heal.
Or go to therapy, much easier.
Wait, we're reaching the end, but it's a collection of essays, as you call it, but it just feels like a narrative. Did you write some of these essays pre-book, or you wrote it all for the book?
It's crazy. Yeah, I had a couple written before, but I pretty much, like sometimes authors write a complete book and turn it into their editor.
Okay.
But my editor is Asian American, female. So we kind of worked on it together. Like I'd have a chapter and she'd look at it. And a lot was cut out because I was like, I want to tell this story. And then she'd be like, what does that have to do with anything? You know? So it had to stay very much like somehow related to fetishization.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. So you're sending in something and she's saying like, oh, this is what you might need next.
Yeah, or like we kind of went through like the whole story, and then she'd be like, "Oh," or like, "I really wanted to include Ex Machina, that movie, because it's very fetishy, but it just the timing of it when the movie came out."
Jazz's favorite movie.
Good, I recommend it. Yeah. And very timely right now with AI,
because the robot is Asian American.
Actually, I haven't seen it.
The issue is that the white robot talks and and the Asian robot's just a sex toy.
Oh,
that's the issue.
That's right.
And then the timing, because you'll notice like the media I brought up always happened around the time, like it was placed within the timeline of my life. And when that movie came out, we couldn't find any stories that like made sense to go with it. But I do think the analysis of that was just very interesting because that's such a fetishy movie.
Totally.
Wow. Is that in your list in the back as well?
It should be. If it's not there, it's an accident.
Okay, y'all. If y'all get a chance to get this book, physical copy, which feels amazing, by the way. Physical, like when we used to print CDs.
Yes, yeah, when you had one in your hand.
Like the booklets, you know what I mean?
Wait, so is it all... Like there's no physical things for musicians
We just
anymore?
don't do it.
Yeah.
My first full-length album that came out 2011, we printed.
Yeah, CDs.
Right?
Yeah,
CDs.
but I don't think
but
they're
now like
big.
singles or even EPs. I guess you should for merch.
Because people like something signed.
And vinyls.
Vinyls are
kind of
back
big.
in,
They're kind of big. Before we go, let's call out some real quick. A not entirely comprehensive list of fetishized portrayals of Asian women in mainstream media. And you came up with this list. One that we thought was very interesting was Miss Saigon 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, did you know like Miss Saigon's just basically a copy of Madame Butterfly, except just put in a Vietnamese woman.
Yes.
Or, Vietnamese woman. And then there was another one. There was a Chinese movie with Anna May Wong. I'm not remembering the title, but they just swapped in a Chinese girl. So it's like literally interchangeable Asians.
Yes. Literally interchangeable Asians. And then when you do talk about the book, Rush Hour 2. And did you send in an audition for that or something? Or you turned it down?
No, we used to have to go into auditions. There's no
tape. No tape.
Did you send in a tape? With the video camera? No. They're walking into the casting off. And you speak about the specific scene where they're doing a massage parlor. But some of your friends are in that scene as well.
Yes. Felicia Tang and Natasha Yee, I think, were the import models that were in that scene.
Yeah. Rush Hour 2.
Yeah. Good movie, though.
Yeah, good movie.
Is.
Oh, did you see? I saw this the other day on social media, so I don't know if it's true, but it says that Rush Hour 2 or 1 comes with a warning, like, oh, some of this might be outdated.
Does it now?
It does
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So Alyssa was part of the team who was doing that for Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah. But before they launched, or was it after they launched Disney Plus?
So it's things like
I think it was before the launch of Disney Plus.
You know, in Dumbo.
It was the
and Boy Meets World.
Disclaimer.
Those need disclaimers?
Some episodes. Some episodes. I had to watch so many episodes of Boy Meets World and flag. Oh, that was inappropriate. That was cultural appropriation, fetishization.
But now Rush Hour has it, which is, well, that's kind of a polarizing thing as well.
Oh, the warning?
The warning for Rush Hour. It's like, because people are like, oh, why are you being so soft? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do think it's necessary for people to know that that was just like a moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was back in the 2000s where everything was problematic.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. There were oh my God, so many problematic movies, which were good.
Yeah.
But they had things in it that would, a joke at the expense of whatever, insert person of color here. Yeah. Mean Girls too.
Well, for the rest of this list, y'all, get the book. Fast and Furious. Kaila talks about Fast and Furious, which we didn't get to talk about. Tokyo Drift, which is such a classic. But August 19th, the book is out everywhere. And we are hoping for amazing success for this book. Not just within our community. And it's not just for us. It's for everyone. As like so much Asian American art, should touch everyone for more empathy and for more understanding, even in children's books, I feel like. So yeah, congrats on everything.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much for reading.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you in our studio.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you so much.
So yeah, check out Kaila on social media. Is it the same Instagram username as TikTok as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a dot, but if you search my name,
it'll come up.
Yeah.
It'll come up as well. YouTube? Shorts?
Yeah, I'm there, but you don't even
bother. That's not the main one. We're trying to have a YouTube resurgence as well.
Just like the reposts of everything.
Totally.
Which I think everyone needs to do that, y'all.
Yeah, free.
Just
free
repost.
promo.
Just like free promo. It's monetized on YouTube Shorts too. Just upload your stuff. But yeah, till next time, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay sweet.
Or savory. Bye.
Bye.
Yes!
Yay! Outro.